All right, it's story time. So this story starts almost 10 years ago, I want to say. So that time, um, we had a Saturn. It was a little Saturn four door, nothing extravagant, but wife got up one day to go to work, and it was gone. Um, it wasn't but 5, 6 days later, it was found. Don't know what happened. Possibly we left keys in another vehicle, and they just rummaged our vehicles, found keys, and took the other car. But one of the windows was broken, so could have been broken into, not 100%. These people have been living in that thing. I mean, there was clothes everywhere, and the trunk was full of Viking football, Viking, and porn and clothes. It was, my God, just full of and just totally trashed. Insurance didn't Insurance didn't care at all. So yeah, we ended up selling that car, got another one. I can't even remember what vehicle we had, but we had another vehicle. Um, Now, this comes up to November of 2022. We had just finished Jeff Con. It was an amazing event for Griffin Heart. We made more money in the raffles than we ever had before. We were ecstatic for the charity. I was cleaning up, and Sarah was wanting to go home because she was tired and stuff. So I kiss her goodbye, and she heads out. And about 30 minutes later, she comes back. I can't find the car. I lost the car. The car's gone. I'm like, nah, that can't be. That can't be right. You just missed it. So we go out, and I have the key fob, and I'm sitting there just walking in the parking lot. Boop, 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 boop. No car. Okay, so I call the police, and about an hour later they show up. So if you know anything about our raffles, you know we draw at 9. We'd been cleaning up, and then she left 3 minutes later. So this is edging towards midnight, maybe later, and we're just sitting outside the hotel at Hilton. It's November, so it's kind of chilly. It's not exactly nice. It's a little rainy. Not a whole lot. It wasn't that bad. And so it just was. Eventually we got there. And at that time, yeah, it wasn't the best. We talked to the cop. He showed up, let him know. He said, "Are you sure?" We said, "We're sure it's not here. We've walked the parking lot twice, all aspects." That's when I found out about uh, the Kia challenge that was going around social media at the time. All right, so we get in touch with the insurance. The insurance says, "Okay, if we don't get the vehicle in 7 days, we will mark it as a loss." Okay. 5 days later, at 3 in the morning, I get a call. "We found your vehicle. We're having it towed." Oh, okay. Does it run? No. So, I get to Hunter Wrecker, and it's been trashed. The inside is trashed. The upholstery may not have been great, but it was even worse. Um, th- they hit something, really damaged badly, one quarter panel and a bumper. And one of the things that really just I don't understand, they snapped the the whole wiper arm just snapped that off, both of them. My only guess is when they hot wired it, it probably shorted the wiper blades and they wouldn't stop, so they just broke them. That's my guess. Fried the battery, and yeah, it was. Yeah, that was something. The wife lost several of the CDs. CDs aren't easy to replace anymore, so it was really upsetting to her. Some of them were not cheap to get. Uh, so, rolling up on the end of 30 days, and we have our truck. That's the only vehicle we have. We only had 2 cars at the time, the Kia and our truck. We're rolling up, and the insurance goes, "Oh, we're not going to cover any more. You've got to figure out something to do for your vehicle. Well, you can rent the rental you have now at $22 a day, and then if you do the math, that adds up quick. We don't have that kind of money." So we were like, "Well, we have to get a car. How long do we have the rental?" "You have it 2 more days. So we have to get a car now." Didn't have a lot of choices. So called around. Uncle got a car for me. It was a Hyundai Sonata. It's like, it's basically Kia's Optima's less ugly cousin. Basically, it's the same car. Okay, I don't have a choice. We need a vehicle now. So in December, we're buying a vehicle. Don't buy a vehicle in December. It's because you pay the taxes and you immediately got to pay the taxes again. It is stupid. Well, that's the way it is in North Carolina, at least. But so we go in, we get that, and then we're driving, and we've had the vehicle a little while, and then oil light comes on. I'm like, well, that's weird. A little low. So call my uncle, who is he's a service guy at the dealership where I bought it. He goes, "Bring it in." So I bring it in. Yeah, it's down like 3 quarts. And he goes, "Oh, it must have been a test they were doing. Sorry about that." Did the oil change up, picked it back up, went on our way. Um, you know, 3 weeks later, and the oil light comes on, and it's dry. I mean, it's dry. And so I'm putting oil in every tank of gas. It's using 3 quarts of oil. And before the first oil change, I have put 18 quarts of oil in this thing. We have not gotten anywhere near the time or mileage for the first oil change, and then it starts misfiring. The oil has been running up through the cylinders, and carbon burn from the oil is coating the spark plugs, and it is just... I managed to get it down to the dealership, and that was a harrowing drive down there. And it's making all kinds of noise, and my uncle's like, "Is it bad?" I go, "Get in there and turn it on." He turned it right on. Nope. So this starts a process of take it down there. They do a little something. We have it for a little while. Then go back. And this goes back and forth. Now this is now. I want to say it's February. So this goes back and forth, and we still don't have the Kia back. It's being repaired. So we're having to rely on this Hyundai. It's doing a lot of driving, and it gets to the point where they're going all this, and then eventually it winds up near July, and they are putting a new engine in the Hyundai. So they say they're going to put an engine in, and eventually they do put one in. They put another Hyundai engine from the same year with 90,000 miles on it, and I'm like, it's probably going to do the same thing again. And that gets done, and we get it back in mid-August, I want to say. Mid to late August. And we're driving it, and I notice in late September, early October, the oil light comes on again, and it has burned through all the oil. So this new used engine has the exact same issue. So putting oil into it, we're getting close. At this point, we're getting close to needing the oil change. And we're prepping up, and we're really busy. With Griffin Hart. We're prepping up for MythicCon, cause that's in Veterans Day, and so Veterans Day comes around for the convention. It is Friday morning, early. I have everything packed. I'm going downstairs because I need to get the truck turned around and get everything packed up. I had everything lined up and ready to just haul into the truck. And I come out the door and I'm hearing voices. And then I go down the stairs and it's like a radio is playing. And I'm holding the keys to the truck. And this is a 99 Expedition. You know, one of those where you have to turn to auxiliary the key has to be in for anything to happen. And and the dash is lit up. The radio's playing. All the instruments are running. It was really weird. The key fob wouldn't work at all. And it would crank. At this point, you turn it on and it wouldn't do anything. It wouldn't even try and crank. So I turn the radio off, and the dash is still lit up, and everything's just kind of acting weird. So I'm making a call, like, hey, Dave, I need you to come get me. Our treasurer, hey, I need you to come and get me. My car is acting really weird. We don't have time right now. And basically when the conventions are on, I'm working 16, 17 hours, crashing, going back in the next day, working 16, 17 hours, crashing, and then I'm done. So by the time it's done, I'm able to actually look at it on Sunday. The battery's dead. So I go in, I get my charger, I click the charger up, and let the battery charge for a little bit. And everything comes up normal. Everything's acting normal. Dash is normal. Okay. So I go to turn it on, and it cranks. It's trying to turn over. I can hear there's sound of the fuel pumps running, the engine's cranking over, the starter's working. I'm getting smoke, so that it's getting spark and fuel, but it will not ignite. It will not turn over. So at this point, we're like, we'll have to figure this out another time. Don't have the money to look into it right now. And so we just let it slide. And then on the 15th, it's just a few days later, I get a call at work that Rachel was in an accident. She was on her phone and she ran into somebody. Now, she wasn't on her phone playing, she was checking the distance to a destination on Google Maps when she shouldn't have. And she ran into the back of somebody. Not very hard, but enough to deploy 2 airbags and totaled the Hyundai. Now, if you're keeping track with the Hyundai, we had it since December of 2022. This is now November of 2023. We have never once had an oil change. It was totaled. Totaled. And remember, I told you that we got this when we were not ready to buy a car. We had no down payment. We had nothing really ready. It was a little over actually where we were looking to purchase a vehicle. The price point was up to the limit of what we could afford at the time. And so we didn't get gap insurance. It was going to be quite expensive, actually. It was like another $22, $23 a payment. And it was just, we were already almost $100 over the budget we could barely afford. But now I'm paying on a vehicle that doesn't exist because I did not have gap insurance. Yeah, after it got totaled, it still gave a pretty good amount. Hell, it's valued decently. I'll give it that much. And it would have probably paid out if the dealership hadn't tacked on additional fee charges that were required. Even though I asked them, I said I did not want this. Can you please remove it? And they said, no, we can't remove it. Okay. And no, I'm not mentioning dealerships. I'm not mentioning names. And notice I haven't done any of that. And I won't. But, so, truck's not working. Well, vehicle's been damaged, and before they can tow, we've got a rental, and we're contacting some places to say, hey, can you look at my truck? I get one place goes to look at it, and eventually they come back with, it's outside our capability. And so I was able to get it to another place. And honestly, these guys, they've been great communication. But it has been one of those things of they repair one thing, and then the next thing in the chain, because it's electrical, the next thing in the line is bad. So it just keeps, hopefully, they're fixing one thing now. Hopefully I may have the truck back next week. Maybe not. Don't know. And then today, we wake up and the Kia was stolen again from our driveway. And we're still paying on that one. It's nearing final payment on it. I mean, the final payment was supposed to be in like October of this year. And we were going to own it outright. And it was going to be ecstatic to have a car I owned that I didn't have to pay on, but that's not happening. So that's the story of what's been going on. I know this was a little while. It's nearing like a podcast, so it is, yeah. I just want to put a little story of what the shenanigans have been going on. And that's not everything that the wild and crazy. Our sewer line broke and then had to be relayed. That was in October of last year. That was like $8,300. So there's another fun one. Yay! Owning a house and our dryer I've repaired the dryer 3 times, but this time the motor went out and a bearing, and it was just, nope, we got a new dryer. And our stove went out last year. No, I can't say much. We've managed to. We've been in our house over 20 years, and we've only replaced the stove for the major appliances. So that's pretty good. Now, washers and dryers, we've been through. We're on our 3rd dryer and 6th washer. I'm pretty hard on the washers for some reason, but yeah. It's been a difficult year. We've had some stuff. I'm hoping things calm down. It'd be helpful. But yeah, that's there's story time. Some shenanigans that I've had to deal with. Life of some vehicles and stuff. You'll have a good one.